Welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic to me, which is how to run and how to start a protection club. I've been a little bit absent the past couple of weeks. I've had a lot going on. I've been incredibly busy with the business and with other things, other projects. So we're back on a roll though. We're going to hit it back and we're going to be doing this episode now, which is how to start a protection club and how to run a protection club. Again, something that I'm really into because I've been running my protection club for the past 3.5 years, more or less, maybe close to 4. I'm not sure. It's about 3 to 4 years that I've been running this club, and I've definitely learned a lot of lessons from the beginning. I've made plenty of mistakes, and I'm going to be addressing those things here in this episode. And why I'm doing this episode is a friend contacted me, and she's going to be starting her club here in a little bit, and she just wants to get some pointers, and I agreed to help her out. I made a list of all the questions she has, and I'm going to answer them here in this podcast. Because one, it's going to be beneficial to her, but I also think it's going to be beneficial to other people, whether you are thinking about starting a sport club, or whether you are already running a sport club, and you want to hear a different perspective. So I'm going to go over some of the things that I've learned, how the thing got started, and I'm going to answer these questions. So we're going to get right into it. We're not going to waste any time. And let's go with the first question. So the first question that she asked is, what do you require of each member? So that's the first question. What do you require of each member? So let's step back a little bit and let's talk about the sport that I do, which is PSA. So I do Protection Sports Association. It's a protection sport. And PSA has certain guidelines for us to have a club that might be different for a different sport. So some of the things that I'm going to be talking about are particularly relevant to PSA clubs, but they might not necessarily be relevant to other sports. So I just want you to keep that in mind. So for PSA, the organization requires you to have, or the association requires you to have 3 PSA members. So you have to become a member of PSA, of the organization. You have to have 3 of those people signed up for you to have a club. At least the last time I checked, the last time we did it, that's the way it was. When you hear this episode, things might be different. I'm not sure. But when I started the club, that was the requirement. 3 members to start a club. And there's this other guy that I was helping out too. He started a club, and I believe that was the same route he took. He just needed 3 members. So you just need 3 people. You don't even have to have dogs, really. You could be in the search to have dogs, but if all 3 of you are involved and all 3 of you are interested in PSA, and you sign up for the organization, which is for a membership, which is very, very inexpensive. Okay, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's very, very affordable. So it's not like they're trying to get money out of you or anything like that. But that's what you need on paper to have a club. Now, as far as why you would want to start a club, there could be a number of reasons why. When I started my club, I really had prior to starting a club, I had no intention of starting a club. I just wanted to join some of the clubs that were around me. But those clubs were very full. They were not getting back to me. So it was either just sitting on my hands and watch my dog get older, or do something about it and start my own clubs, which is what I did. I just started my own club. There was another club that was running, and there were a couple of clubs that were running. But at the time, when I first started looking into PSA, I didn't even like PSA. I wanted to do something else. I thought PSA, um, just I thought it looked stupid. And I'm being very frank. Okay, when I was talking to Jerry Bradshaw, one of the founders of PSA, when I was talking to Jerry Bradshaw one day, we were driving, and I told him, yeah, I used to not even like PSA. I told him, he laughed, he got a chuckle out of it. But what I realized was when I started to really look into PSA, I started to really like it. I started to realize at quick glance, it does look, very just hectic, and it just doesn't look right. It looks like it almost looks like a redneck clown show. But now of course I love PSA. I love the sport. I love every level. I love what it brings out of each team. So I got to see a different perspective. I got to see it from a different perspective. And I started to notice that everything that we do in PSA just makes sense. To me, at least, it just makes sense. So I fell in love with the sport as I started to learn about it, so I started the club. Now, what do you require of each member? So I'm going to tell you right now, here's what I require of each member. My members have to be serious. There's no point in having a club if you're not really going to be serious. Because here's why I have a club. I don't have it so that I can make a lot of money. It's really the energy that I put into the club and the physical toll that it takes on my body. It's not even worth it for the money. Honestly, it's not. And I've talked to other club members, and it's the same way. We don't do it because of like, oh man, running a club makes us a lot of money. It's not like that at all. It's really, I could do more with my time, be more productive, and make more money with that same amount of time and not be sore for several days after. So when we run the club, when I have a club, or, the reason I have a club is because it helps me. It helps me and it helps my dog. I can't do PSA by myself. It'd be very difficult. Okay, PSA it's a group effort. It's a team sport, really. When you step on the field, some people are like, oh yeah, I got my PSA. No, it took more than just you. Okay, even if you just float from club to club to club, it takes effort. It takes group effort to get you there. If you're gonna get far in PSA, even if you're going to have a good time in PSA, you just can't do it by yourself, okay? Maybe the lower levels you can, swing it by yourself. Once you get into the higher levels, like the 1 and above, especially the 2s, you need a team. So how the club benefits me? It benefits me because I have a group of people that are committed. So what I require of my members, I require that they are committed. I don't want to have just people that are not taking it serious, because then they don't help me. I used to take people that were not serious, and it was just a one-way transaction. Okay? I was killing my back, killing my shoulders, killing my elbows, killing my knees for them for a super low fee. And they were not contributing at all to the club. They were not contributing at all. They were not helping me at all. And it was like they were like basically clients that got an incredibly cheap deal. It just doesn't work that way. So if you're going to be a member of my club, okay, now just to give you an idea, my club is full and I have people on a waiting list. People want to join my club. And, it's not because I'm super cheap. It's not because any of those things. And people are driving 3 hours to come to my club, 2 hours, 3 hours to come to my club. And I believe the reason we've gotten to that point is because we're serious. The people that come to our club, we are all serious. So one, each member has to be just serious. How I ensure that happens? If you're gonna be a member of my club, you have to be a PSA member, and you have to have a scorecard. So all of my club members, they've gotten they all have their scorecard. Okay, that's already a nudge to let them know, hey, if you want to train with us, you have to do this. You have to be a member of PSA. You have to have your scorecard. All right, so you have to do that. Also, like, you don't even have to have a dog. You could come to our club. I have people that come to our club just to learn, just to watch. And I welcome those people. They don't take any extra time. They don't take any field time. They're just watching and learning. They're asking questions. And I'm happy to have them. So, I don't require them to have this awesome, amazing dog. You just have to be committed. Because if you're committed, if I know you're committed, you're going to contribute to the club. You're going to help me out, and you're going to help our members out, because we're all serious. We all want to be part of this, and we all want to succeed. We want to progress. Okay, we want to progress. We want to get better. Now, what I do with my members too is I do club at my house, my property. Where my kids go to sleep. So one thing that I do, and all of my members know this, all of my members are aware of this, is not a surprise. I will do a background check on all of my members, and I tell them this, and I have told them this, and they know this. I'm going to do a background check on you. If you don't pass a background check, you're not in my club. Just plain and simple how it's going to be. Okay. Now, I don't care, for minor little things. If I see violent crimes, if I see some very, very messed up stuff in your record, you're not coming to my club. So, we're not doing that, because for the amount that our members pay, what we all get out of it is it's a tremendous value. Okay, so that's what I do. You don't have to do that. A lot of people probably don't do that. I do it for peace of mind. So anyway, so that's what we require of each member. Paper-wise, logistic-wise, they have to be a member. They have to be committed. Now I'm going to talk about some other things, okay, that are not paper-related. Meaning ethics, conduct, and that kind of stuff. Here's the thing with people in general. People are human beings. When you put human beings in a group, there's going to be drama. If you run a club, you're going to see drama. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, just period. Just get used to it. Accept it. There's going to be a level of drama. Some drama, I don't mind. People are going to talk shit here and there. Some things are going to be brought up about other clubs even. As long as it's not malicious and we're not just the club is not turning into like a gossip fest. If that's not happening, I don't care. Like little shit talking here and there, joking around, it's not a huge deal. But but we don't want toxicity in the club. Just don't want that. It ruins the club. I've talked to other club members that their clubs have been broken apart because of drama. Some of the drama that I've heard taking place in other clubs, just horrific. Completely just tears down the whole dynamic of the club. You don't want to deal with that. Okay, you have to realize there is going to be some drama that's going to happen. So be it. It's not a huge deal. It's not church, and even at church, there's still going to be drama anyway, right? So just know that there's going to be some of that going on. Not too big of a deal. But just it can be toxic. If it's toxic, then you're not comfortable. The members are not comfortable. If nobody's comfortable, then we can't focus on training. We can't focus on improving each other. So you just have to keep an eye on that. If you're the person running the club, if it is, and there has to be a person running the club. Okay? You can't just be like, hey, let's all get together and just train together. Unfortunately, there has to be a person that is sort of taking the lead. the person that has to have those hard conversations, the person that has to kick members out, the person that has to be the gatekeeper. There just has to be one. You can't just all like be all happy and good and get along and all train together and you're all the same. You have to have somebody that will run that club. So you have to have that. Okay, so what else we require of our members? Every member has to help out in some shape or form. You have to help out. If we ask you to help out, you're gonna help out. Okay, in some way, one way or another, we all want to help out. Obviously, within limits. We're not gonna ask somebody who is in no shape to take bites. We're not gonna ask that person to do a flea bite. But you're gonna help out. You're gonna help set up. You're gonna help put things away. That's just gonna happen. And I do have certain people that I ask to help out with certain things because I know their capabilities. But I'm also gonna have some other people here and there help out. And there might be a person or two that I barely ask them to help out, just because they like what am I gonna have them do? But I know they're willing. I know they offer. So obviously, you have to kind of distribute that as well. So yeah, everybody's gonna help out. If I ask you to help out, you're gonna help out. Okay, there has to be a sort of rules that people follow, not for the sake of just having rules, but it just makes your club better. Like some rules that we have in our club is be on time. You don't have to be on the dot, but don't show up an hour late. Just don't show up an hour late. Don't be half an hour. And I get it. Traffic gets in the way. Life happens. We're not taking attendance. We're not chastising people when they're a little bit late. It's not a huge deal. But if I start to see a pattern, I'm going to let that person know. Very politely, I'm going to let them know, hey, maybe, just try to be on time next time, right? If it keeps happening, then I'm going to be more stern. But this is something that all of our members already know. They know that they need to be on time. Before, when I was first starting, when the club was kind of new, I didn't have that in place too much, and it just creates tension. Like one thing one mistake I made, which I don't let that happen anymore, is like if somebody would come in and they wanted to leave early, and they wanted to kind of skip a turn, they'd be like, hey, do you mind if I go in front of you so I can leave early? And if it didn't bother the other person, like, hey, yeah, it's not a big deal. But we got rid of that. We got rid of that shit. You can't do that. Okay, you are a club member. Again, you're not a client. Okay, these people that come to my club, they're not clients. I don't treat them like clients. You are a club member. You are part of a club. As a club, we're helping each other out. You're not a client. You're not jumping in front of line of everybody. Now, as a club member, because it is a club and we're all getting along, we're all doing this for one reason, so that we can all help each other out. So, like, if I have a club member that they have to go somewhere, and I know this, I don't have a problem here and there letting them out early. If they have something going on and that will make them be late, I don't have a problem with that happening every once in a while. But just running late just because you decided to sleep in an extra hour and now you're coming towards like the back half of club, now that's a problem. Okay, now you're sort of disregarding the other members a little bit. So no, we don't do that. Like, our members know, be there on time. Also, our members know you're not leaving until the end. So if we're there for 4 hours, you're there for 4 hours. Even if you got all done with your turn, even if we already finished your dog and it's already been 2 hours into the session and we have a bunch of other dogs and your dog is not going to get worked again, You stay there until everybody finishes. Again, this is a club. Okay, these are not clients. This is a club. It shows support. Because if I start having people leave when they're done, then, now I'm going to be the one picking everything up, right? Now I'm going to be the one that is going to have like 2 people left, and that's just weird and it's awkward. So no, we're all there in the beginning and we're all there till the very end, and we all help clean up. That's how we do the club. It's a club, guys. It's not group classes. It's a club. So that's another thing that I require of my members. Be there on time and don't leave till we're all done. Also, the way we run the club too is, I say we, but really it's me running the club. But the way I run the club too is, I'm not afraid to kick people out. I've done it. I've kicked people out. I've told those people, hey, don't come to club anymore. I've had to do it. When some of these rules get constantly violated, and the member is aware. Okay, the member is aware that safety issues constantly keep getting overlooked, or some of the other policies that we have in place constantly keep getting, not paid attention to. Yes, if obviously the rules of the club are not, or the ethics and the conduct and the expectations are not important enough to you for you to follow, then obviously you're not taking the club serious. And if you're not taking the club serious, somebody else can take your spot. Because I have people that want to take your spot. So even if your club is only like 3-4 people, that's one thing that I did a little bit different, that I would do a little bit different is, when the club was kind of small and was starting out, I was like, I wanted everybody. Yeah, let's bring everybody in. And by doing that, I kind of dropped my standards of conduct a little bit. And then I ended up having people, but then I also ended up having people that were not committed. And it's just not good. It's not worth it for your club decoys, whether you're the one decoying for the club or whether you're the one running the club and you have your decoys helping you out. It's just not worth it. It's not good for the decoy to be working and putting their body through a bunch of hard-hitting dogs for people that are not committed, for people that don't appreciate it. Okay, so don't be afraid to kick people out. That's why there has to be a person, like I said earlier, it has to be a person that will take charge. There has to be a person that will say, no, we're not doing this. Okay? I've kicked people out because they just kept showing up late, had no regards for that, or they just continuously kept leaving early, or they just had no regards for safety, and they just wanted to rush everything, making the club look really bad. If you start making the club look like it's just a shit show, we don't want you in the club. Just don't want you in the club. Like if you come to the club and you go, all right, I want to get my, my PDC in 3 weeks, and you've never done any bite work at all, I'm not gonna do that. You're going to do it when your dog has a good chance. Because if your dog has a good chance, hey, you've prepared your dog, and now it's up to the judge. It's up to not the judge. It's up to your training, and it's up to your dog. Then yes, go ahead and do it. But if you're really, really unprepared, incredibly unprepared, okay, like super, super unprepared, and you step in that field and you just make us all look like clowns, like, oh, well, what club did that guy come from? Oh, it's that club? What a joke. No, fuck no. No, if you do that, you're out. Okay? You might, if I like you, I might talk to you and go, what the fuck did you just do? You're not doing that again. If you do that one more time, you're out. Because you make us all look bad. Okay, the person that is working really hard and is serious, you potentially make that person look really bad. Okay, Now, I don't mind if you fail. Go ahead and fail. I've failed a bunch of times, okay, in trials. Like, we have members that don't always pass. We understand that. Failure is part of trialing. PSA is a very difficult sport. It's not the failure that is the problem. We're not going to get embarrassed if you failed, but it's how you fail. Like, if you fail because, one or two things were off, look, it happens. But if, like, you step in that field and you had no business even being in that field, and your dog looks like just absolute shit, and you look like absolute shit, that is when we have a problem. It truly makes has the potential to make your club look like just like a shit show. You don't want that, okay? That's another expectation that you want to have with your dogs. Remember, we're doing this to help each other out. So that's another thing that we do with our members. We want to make sure that you do have a shot, okay? Also, another thing too, this kind of goes without. It's just kind of repeating what I said earlier. We all want to be serious. I don't want people that come to our club that don't know if they want to do PSA. Like, if people just come to the club and they're like, oh, I just want my dog to have some bites because he's a Malinois and he's a German Shepherd, and I just want him to have some bites, you're not coming to the club. You can pay for private lessons and I'll give you dog bites. You can pay for another group that I have and you can do bites, but you're not coming to club just because your dog wants, just because you want your dog to take some bites. Again, we're going back to you're not serious. It's just how we do this. Okay, and as I answer some of these questions, some of these additional questions, this will start to make sense. I know I sound like an asshole, but I'm doing this. The reason I sound like an asshole, and the reason I maybe I run it like a little bit of an asshole, is to protect my members. Okay, think about it. I mean, we have like, if in a club meeting we have, and our club meetings fluctuate. Sometimes our members don't always make it, and sometimes we have a lot of people. I don't even run my club that strict. Some clubs run their clubs very, very strict. I know a couple of people that, they take attendance and like they do all of that. Okay, and I don't blame them for it. I'm not saying that they're wrong. Obviously, it works for them. But if sometimes some members can only make it once a week, and I get that. I'm perfectly okay with that. Here's why I want to protect that. I want to protect the club from people that are not serious, because it's a hassle for the people that are committed. If you go to a club and if you go to a club and there's like 5 or 8 people there, and you're sitting there, you're waiting your turn, you're serious, you're committed, you need help, you're willing to help, and then somebody takes like 20 minutes in the field not being serious, they don't know what they're doing. Not that I care about that, okay? But like I mean, like they don't know if they want to do PSA. They don't know what direction they want to go. They're just there for their dog to have some fun bites. You have this person taking 20 minutes, 10 minutes on the field. It's just now stacking up, right? Now it's consuming your time. If you're serious, you don't want that either. You want people to be on the field who are serious too. So that's why I don't allow fun bites. Like if you come to club, you're doing PSA. You're not there just so that your dog can have a good time. Okay, we want people there to be serious. I would rather have a club with just 2 people that are serious than have a club with like 20 people, and like the majority of them, they don't know where they're going, or they're not serious about the sport. No, I would rather have a club with just 2 people that are serious. Okay, another thing too, And that's why we want to be a little bit strict with how we run the club, with the expectations. The other thing too is about dogs, right? Some people will go, hey, you cannot join our club. Some club members do this. Some not club members. I'm sorry. Some clubs will do this. They'll go, because I've talked to a bunch of people that run clubs when I was getting my club started, and when I was kind of transitioning my club to a more serious club. All the people that I talked to, the standards that they have is, if you don't have an amazing, awesome dog, you can't be part of the club. And I completely get that. I completely understand that. But here's how it is to me, because I need people. Again, I need people to help me out too. People that are serious are going to help me out. I have a dog that is showing in the twos. I have a puppy that is going to be competing in PSA. So I need a village to get these dogs where I want them. So, to me, if you are serious and you are committed, if you're serious and you're committed, I'm okay with you not having the best dog. I am, for real. I'm okay with you not having the best dog. Okay. Now, if your dog is not the right dog at all, I mean, your dog truly is not the right dog, then we'll have a different conversation. Then I might tell you, hey, you can still come to club, but your dog is just taking too much extra time, and your dog, it's really not going anywhere. So your dog's not really going anywhere. It's taking extra time. We know it's not going to happen. You're still more than welcome to come, and we'll help you get another dog. But obviously, if they decide, well, I'm not going to come to club anymore, then if I can't bring my dog, why would I come? So I understand that. But what I'm getting at is, I would rather have a good, committed member with a dog that is okay than have an amazing, awesome dog with a very lousy handler. I'll get rid of that person a lot faster. And I've done it. I've kicked people out that had awesome dogs, but very questionable handlers. I don't want that person. So it's about the expectations. Okay. Also, drama, again, going back to the drama. If you're being toxic, I don't even want you in the club. Okay, another question that is on the list: how do you handle dues? How do you handle fees? Now, this is very different depending on where you are. I know some clubs that charge a pretty big amount of money, and I also know clubs that charge very, very low fees. So to me, you are going to pay. There's going to be a very low fee, okay? Like super low. I'll tell you what the price is. I don't have a problem with that. So our club fees are $80 a month. That to me is super low. We're meeting twice a week. And in each session, your dog is getting, each club meeting, your dog is getting 2 sessions. That's a bargain. That's like ridiculously cheap. And if you can put in some skin in the game, if you go, oh no, that's too much, then I don't want you in the club. If you're scoffing at $80 a month because you think that's too much, well, really it isn't for the value that you're getting, that already filters you out. If you think $80 a month is too much, I don't want you in the club. You're just not fit for the club. You don't have that level of commitment. And I get it. That's perfectly fine. You can go somewhere else who's going to charge less. Okay, which 80 I think is very low. I know some people that charge way more than that, like way more for their club fees, which is okay. I'm okay with that. I mean, do whatever works for you. For my club, that's what I charge. For additional dogs, yes, I do charge extra for additional dogs. Okay, I know some clubs that they don't do additional dogs. They only do 1 dog, period. But again, I'm just telling you how I run it. But yes, I will charge you for both dogs, and it is going to be more for both dogs. Okay, this is a good question. Do decoys pay dues? So here's how I do it. I do have people in the club that help Decoy, and I love those guys. Thank you guys so much. Okay, uh, TJ, Isaac, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I have more members that are getting more and more involved in decoying, and it's great now. And I love it because they want to do it. They want to be part of it. They want to learn how to do it, and I'm all for it. I want them to learn how to do it because, again, it helps us. It helps me. The more decoys we have, the better it is for the entire club. But my decoys, if they have dogs, they are paying dues. If you're I also have a couple of people that are just coming to decoy so that they can learn how to decoy. I'm not going to charge them anything, of course. I don't charge them anything at all. If you don't have a dog, I'm not charging you. But here's the thing so I have this deal with my club. Okay, I have this deal with my club. And the deal is, if you become a certified PSA decoy, you don't pay dues. They know that. If they become certified PSA decoys, they can train with us at no charge. I will not charge them. If they're certified PSA decoys, again, that adds more value. That's an incentive too, which some of them are definitely wanting to do that. They want to do that. And some of them don't really care. So they're like, yeah, I'll just help out. I don't really care to be a certified decoy, and I like to catch dogs and work them anyway, so it's not a big deal to me. But that's the deal that I have with my club. If you become a certified PSA decoy, you don't pay dues. Okay, as long as you maintain that certification, because that's the thing, you have to maintain the certification. It's not like you get certified once and you are certified for life. You have to maintain, you have to attend trials every year. So if they become certified decoys and then maintain that certification, they come to club at no charge. Okay, so what's the limit of members? To me, I'd say we're about 10 to 13 dogs. Not dogs, I'm sorry, 10 to 13 members. Now, a lot of these members, a good number of them have multiple dogs. So even though 10 members or so doesn't seem like a lot of people, when you count the fact that, I have 2 dogs, my wife has 1 dog, so she's got her dog. So with us, that's three dogs already. I got a member that has 2 dogs. I have another member that at the moment has 3 dogs. Again, I have another member that has 2 dogs. I mean, the dogs are already starting to stack up. So even though we have 8 to 10 people showing up at a meeting, and even if we have less people, the fact that a handful of us have multiple dogs, it already fills the entire night or the entire meeting. And yes, I am going to limit it. I'm not going to be at club for 8 hours. I'm just not going to do it. I have a life too. I love club, but I'm not going to be there for 6-7 hours. I know clubs that do that. They have club. They're there for half a day. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ask my members to, especially my members that are driving 2-3 hours. Imagine they're driving 2 hours and then they're there for 5-6 hours, and then they got to drive another 2 hours to go home. And that's already half of their entire day pretty much consumed in just club, which some people are for it. I'm glad that there are people that do that, and I'm glad that there are clubs that facilitate that. I'm just not going to do it. So I am definitely going to cap my numbers. Okay, so I don't want club to take, more than 4 hours. We usually do in club for 3 to 4 hours, and we're going. We're not bullshitting. We're going and going and going. We have a club member. We start, okay, who's getting their dog? Okay, you're getting their dog. We even make a list. Okay, you go ahead and get your dog. And then while you're working your dog, I'm keeping an eye on it. And I'm okay, this person's going to be on the field for maybe another couple of minutes. I'll let the other person know. I'm okay, who's next? And I'll let them know, okay, go start getting your dog because he's about to finish. And then that person gets their dog. And same thing, I'm keeping an eye on them. Okay, who's next? And my members are doing that on their own too. They're not waiting for me to do it, which is great. Again, this is the great thing about having committed members. They're not just bullshitting around. I know clubs that do that. I don't know how they do it, but they're just bullshit. They just sit around and they just drink and they just hang out and it's just too much lag time for me. I can't do that. I gotta move, and I gotta see the flow moving. So if we're doing bite work, hey, go ahead. We're gonna do like a few bites. By the second bite, if I'm Decoy and I'm like, okay, who's next? I only got like 2 more bites with this dog. Go ahead and start potting your dog, start getting it ready. Because as soon as this dog's over, you're gonna get the next dog. Okay, now if I need a break or if one of my decoys needs a break, we'll go, all right, don't get your dog yet. Chris needs to rest for a few minutes. All right, we'll do that. Or we'll switch back and forth. So Chris will take some dogs, I'll take some dogs, TJ will catch some dogs. I don't want to put all the workload on one member. It's not fair to that member. But I'm also not going to put all the workload on me. It's not fair to me either. Okay, I'm also a handler. I also want to work my dog. So we want to make it, again, it's a club environment. We want to help each other out. So yeah, I am going to limit it. I don't want that. Like I have members that tell me, hey, you should let this person in. I'm like, okay, cool. But we're kind of full. I'm like, oh no, this person is really cool. I believe you, but we're kind of full. And like, oh no, you got to let this person in. I'm sure he's an awesome guy. Like yes, that'd be great to have him. But here's the thing. The more people we have, the less you're going to get out of it. I've told my members this. Look, like if we have like 5, 6 more people at club, what's going to happen is you're only going to get 1 session instead of 2. Do you see how that's affecting the club now? Right, like if I let everybody in, now you, instead of getting your 2 sessions at club, you're just going to get 1 and it's going to be super quick. Now you're going to be sitting there for 6 hours so that you could get your 1 5-minute session. So you have to think about that, okay? Less people, more effort, more focus over like tons of people, and like maybe you don't get your dog work, because I've heard of that happening too. People go to clubs. I mean, club is freaking full, and the club runs super late, and some members don't even get their dogs worked. And a lot of them just get like 1 session, which again, I'm perfectly okay. If that's how you run your club, I'm perfectly okay with that. That works for you. This is just how I choose to run my club, at least for the moment, and I'm happy with it. Yeah, our members seem to be happy with it too. So yeah, I definitely would limit it. Okay, what's the cost of running a trial? I've not run a trial yet, but I have put in for a trial. Okay, the reason that I finally decided, hey, you know what, I need to stop putting trials here, because COVID, this whole COVID year really like messed up trial seasons bad. Like, you know how people were panic buying fuel because we had that fuel shortage in some regions, and so everybody thought, oh my god, we're gonna run out of gas. So people were buying like gallons and gallons and gallons. They were bringing like they were putting gasoline in their plastic bags, and they were panic buying because they were like, oh my god, there's a shortage. People are doing the same thing with trials after COVID. Oh my god. Because for that entire year, it really affected the trial season. So now everybody's signing up for trials. I cannot stand that. People are signing up for trials when they're not even ready to sign up for trials. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're taking a spot for somebody who actually has a chance. So it's becoming very difficult to get spots now. So I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm gonna just put in for trials. So I'm gonna have a trial. So that's what I'm shooting for, and I'm gonna prioritize my members, and then everybody else is gonna have to wait in line. What do you pay? Do you pay for the judges, the decoys? Now, if you host a trial, you are paying for their You are paying for their stay. You are paying for their travel. So you are responsible for their pay. Okay, they're not getting paid as in a labor fee. I'm a certified decoy for PSA. So when I trial at decoys, I'm not getting paid like an hourly wage or anything like that. They're just really paying for my gas, right? And just to kind of let you know this too, when I go to local trials, I don't even charge them. I'll just go, hey, don't worry about it. It's fine. You don't have to pay for my gas or anything. I love the sport. I'm gonna go. And it helps me maintain my certification anyway. So to me, it's not a big deal. But if I had to travel pretty far, then yeah, they would pay for my fuel. They would pay for my hotel or whatever. They would pay for my meals. But that's it. They wouldn't pay me like a salary or anything like that. They wouldn't give me a per diem, nothing of that nature. They would just pay for your expenses. So if you host a trial, that's what you would do for the judges, for the decoys, for whoever needed to come to be part of that trial. Okay, now as far as the club goes, does the club pay for the decoys to be certified? And the answer is no. I don't. Maybe other clubs do, but decoy camps, decoy certification, they're very hard. So you have to want it. If I have a member, I'm like, hey, dude, you should go to decoy camp, but they're not really into it. I'm just gonna be wasting my money. I'm gonna be wasting my energy. And I have members that are really not into it, and I have members that are really into it. But either way, I mean, the fee for a decoy camp is so low. Okay, because they're not development camps, they're certification camps. Now there are development camps for decoys. Now, if you're a club, so like if you're starting a new club and you don't have a lot of experience decoying, and the members that you have don't have a lot of experience decoying, then yeah, it would make sense for you guys to pitch in and go, hey, who out of this group will do best with decoying? And you could go, well, this person, it's more agile, is younger, and they're really into it. So since we're just starting out, why don't we just pitch in? This could be part of the club fees, and as part of the club fees, we will make it so that you can go to that decoy camp. So in that instance, absolutely, it makes perfect sense. My suggestion, if you're starting a PSA club, I'm sure it's the same for the other sports, but I can tell you from my experience in PSA, when I first started the club, I didn't know, I knew hardly anything about PSA. So I was just kind of learning as I went. My knowledge was super, super low when it came to PSA. I knew protection work, but PSA was brand new to me. Sport work was new to me. How I learned tremendously, how my knowledge of PSA and how to help my club members dramatically went up was when I became a certified PSA decoy. Because when you go to certification camps for PSA, for decoy work, as a certified decoy, you learn, because as a certified decoy, you're part of the trials, you learn like everything that we are looking for on your dog. Like when you go to decoy camp, to decoy certification camp, they're telling you these are the weaknesses that we want to expose on these dogs. This is how we want you to do it, because this is the proper technique, one, which is very important. This is the proper intensity, because we want to really challenge these dogs. And you just get like a completely awesome perspective on what the sport is about. Okay, because think about it. You go into the sport trial. You go into the trial as a handler, knowing what you as a handler should do. You have the perspective of a handler. But when you have the perspective of a decoy, when you step into that trial field, it gives you that edge. Because as I step into that field and I see a decoy in the obedience routine or in the bite work routine, I know exactly what they're looking for. I know exactly what they're going to try to do to throw off my dog, because I'm a certified decoy, because I went to decoy camp, and in decoy camp, this is what they told us to do so that we could pass certification. So having at least one certified PSA decoy in your club gives you a tremendous advantage. I've been able to help my club members so much because I'm a certified decoy, because I've been to trials, and me going to trials as a decoy, not only as a handler, but I've been to a lot of trials as a decoy. Okay, I've been part of a lot of scenarios as a decoy. And the judge tells me, okay, for this scenario, Will, you're going to do this, this, and that, right? So like that is so much valuable information that I can bring that to my club, and I tell my club members, hey, when you trial, this is what the decoy is going to try. This is what the decoy is allowed to do. This is what the decoy might do. So be prepared for that. That gives me and that gives my club members a tremendous edge. So if you have a club, if you're running a club and you're going to be competing on a trial field where there is going to be a decoy, strong suggestion, have at least one person who is a certified decoy, or try to get that person to get to that point. Because it's not just the decoy camp, it's not just a certification, but it's also going to the trials as a decoy. You get to see so much from an entirely different perspective. So it's big recommendation to do that. Anything else? Not really. I would say have fun with it. I love club days. It's exhausting. It's like a love-hate relationship, because I'm like, oh man, I'm going to be exhausted. But I never finish club thinking, oh man, I can't believe that I did that. That was horrible. I can't believe I've wasted 3 hours or 4 hours of my life. That was terrible. I'm always out of there like, oh man, that was an awesome session. That was an awesome day. Even if my dogs didn't have a good session, even if a club member didn't have a good session, the fact that we're all learning together and we're all getting together, we're all caring about each other, we're all pushing each other forward. It's always a good day when we have club day. And I would say protect the integrity of your club. Protect just protect your time, and don't waste it. Don't bullshit around. And don't let too much drama in the club, because it really it adds toxicity, and we don't want that. But other than that, I hope I answered all your questions. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.